Okay, so I don't think everybody heard me then, because I think my mic was off. Oh, hilarious. Anyway, hello everybody.
They didn't hear you. This is the best show ever. No.
I'm just talking to myself again, guys, and my mic was off, and so hi. Don't laugh, it's not funny.
Yes, it is.
I'm just so out of it. Alright, guys, so let's do a test. So we'll have May first.
Hello, everybody. You. Belinda, I think you have a small echo.
Uh-oh.
Because I can't hear you. Or maybe Laura, I don't know, but it did sound like you.
Lots of echoes. Ah, okay. This happened last time we did all the sound, didn't it? Alright, let's see if I can work something out. I'm just going to turn sounds off for a sec. I'm just popping us all back on again. Let's see if that helps. Alright, guys, can you chat and we'll see if everyone can hear. So, May 1st. No? Hello? Aww, May's not. No one's working now. Hang on, let me just fix it. Give me a sec. I'm clever. I know I can do this.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, no, but I have an echo again. What in the world?
That's okay. Let's see if we can have Laura speaking. Bring me back on now. Okay, guys. Now you guys talk again.
Hello.
That was May.
Hi.
That was Laura. Can everybody hear everybody now? Hop off. Oh, look, here she comes. It started. Oi!
Sammy says yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, Shadow, there's someone coming out of the speaker. Look, Shadow's looking at the speaker just here, going, what is that noise?
And I can't hear any echo now, so it does sound good at my end at least.
Yep. Are we good? Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, everybody's
Sammy
happy.
says it's perfect. Yeah. That's good. Thank you, Sammy.
Perfecto. Okay, so we have May down here, in this corner, Laura down here and down there. We're all over the place here. And we have our colour list somewhere here. We're doing a autumn challenge here. And this image is out of Kerby Rosanes' book. It's out of 2 books. It's out of Imagimorphia. Is that right, Laura?
Yeah.
Yep, and Colormorphia. So this is going to be fun. So our challenge is today, well, you can already see Laura's already got her challenge mittens on. Even though it's autumn, it's still cold. They're getting cold, yeah? So we've got our woolly gloves. Now, May wanted to use mittens, but we didn't have mittens, so we're using gloves today.
Yes. Except from when, since you is the down under, that means that me in Norway has to be up over. So when you are saying
thing. I expect that is kind of the opposite
It's
thing.
actually getting warm here, yes.
Yeah, I don't have mittens. I have socks. So...
Can we go just get socks then? Wait, let's go get...
No, you can get whatever you want.
Bring me some pizza! Love it! Yay, May! Awesome!
Yeah, so...
You're gonna have so much fun!
I hope so. And I hope that somebody get me some pizza.
I wish I had have grabbed my Elmo socks or something then.
Oh, you can wear your mittens or whatever you have. That's all okay. Except for I don't have any fingers, so I'm kind of handicapped. So yeah. No fingers, no cookies. But
Do you know,
I will have pizza. So
it's even hard to drink my cuppa with these woolly gloves. How are you going to do anything with no fingers?
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know yet. I've never done this. So let's test it out, and please.
So we've given ourselves a challenge to do. Are you using water with yours, May?
Water?
Today?
Oh, is that legal? Okay, then I am. Yes, I am. I'm using water. I have water.
We're going to be using super tips today, but May doesn't have super tips, but she's got a similar type of thing there. Children's water-based markers. I'm going to be using water today with mine.
Okay, I'm looking for my current color, so maybe
all these colours. I've only picked...
But then again, I have socks on my hands, so this is kind of hard. Okay, never mind.
Maybe take your socks off to find it. At least you don't have your feet on camera.
No, of course not. Ooh, no, that get off.
So this is my big handful of colours here. I tried to pick colours that were similar to the ones on the list. There's actually quite a few colours. But that's good because we've got lots of flowers.
I don't have them all, but I picked out some and messed them up as good as I could.
May's got her board out and I can't get mine out. Got mine. I stained mine with Inktense. Look at it. It's all stained. Doesn't matter. Alright, so Laura, you've got yours out.
Yep, I've got mine out.
I don't know where to put all this, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, I was asleep like a half an hour before we started, so I'm a little bit out of it.
Me too, May.
Hello. So yeah, Sammy, we decided that you can do any kind of twist you want, by the way. I forgot to ask you, but I'm sure you can think of something here. Anything that you want to...
Ooh, Vicky needs whiskey. Hey, Vicky. There goes Helby, my pizza.
Please bring me some pizza.
Helen haven't left.
What time is it for you, Laura?
It is 7 a.m. or 7:15.
Oh, too early for me. It's 9:15 p.m. here, so it's still too early for me.
That's why my screen is a little bit yellow. The sun is actually just coming up, so it should get better.
Kenny, it's 4 a.m. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being so dedicated to us. So you guys know, or don't know, Laura and May. Can you guys just type something in chat so that whoever's in there can see you? That is them, and go check out their channels as well. And also I've put their links in the description of the video as well. So if you want to say...
Oh my gosh, how do I do that? Oops.
I have had to take on more.
There we go.
So.
Thanks, guys.
Just to type.
I'm not even going to try and type. You're doing well. Is Sammy still there? What did you want us to do, Sammy? Anything exciting, or should we just start for now?
I think I need to move my...
How many's here? How many's here? I don't even know. I haven't got my thing open today. Oh, we got a few.
Yeah.
Alright, so I didn't know how long you guys had. So how long did you want to do this challenge for? It is pretty big.
It is big. So I do think that we need an hour.
At least, I think, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can do until 9, which is the time I normally stream till. So we could do 2 hours if you want.
Okay.
Well, let's aim for an hour. Can you hear my psycho laugh? An hour? More than an hour? Alright, they all want to get started. Do I need to shrink our little avatars? Let me just have a look, because I made them quite big, and I think we could probably just pop them down a little bit there.
Yes, Sammy, the timekeeper.
Sammy? You're a timekeeper, and if you want us to do anything in particular, just let us know as well. Where's my avatar? Oh, there it is. I'll just make mine a little bit smaller too. There we go. Can we see our screens a little bit better? I know it's hard with such a small area to work with.
Yes, it's not like I'm sitting and looking at.
Oh, please don't tell us to do that. We've already got orders here. No, it's Sammy. Sammy can make the orders. Alright, so we've got our colours, we've got our thing. Let's go. I don't even know if I can open the lids of my markers yet. Have you tried to open yours yet?
Nope.
Alright, here we go.
It's hard.
Wait, let me... Oh, I forgot how fat these are.
Oh my God. Wait, are we going?
We're going. The timing starts as now, okay? It starts as now. We're going to give ourselves an hour and see how far we've got. And then if we need more time, we'll talk about it then. We'll see how we're going. All right?
Usually you need more time, I don't.
Yeah, well, you know. That's because you usually... Well, you've got a bit of a handicap there today, so it might not be the case. It might not be the case.
You actually should beat me.
I should, but I probably won't. You know, I get so... my concentration and everything in this just gets so hard. I think I'm a little bit competitive.
Me too. I don't care about anything else.
Oh,
so.
I think we need black. I think we need to add black. Or we're not using any other colour. We'll just...
We can use black. I think that's fine.
Yeah, and white as well. So it's
white? Did you
white,
say?
Yeah.
We don't have white.
What? No, I don't have white, but I have a white Japanese shirt. If I can have white. I mean, that did not work out. That was not parity. So my first flower look kind of horrible. That's okay.
Alright.
And I'm having a cold, so I hope that it doesn't.
Is your nose running? Careful, it might smudge the page, alright?
Yeah, but no, thankfully I have the socks on my hands, so I can wipe my nose kind of fast.
With your socks?
But of course, if it's started hanging down and onto my hands. Just let me know.
Just if you... Grace! That's just not nice.
Oh. I'm so...
We're going to have to go and pick Laura up off the floor, I think. She just fell off her chair.
I can't do it. I'm so laughing too much.
My God, what in the world did we
Okay, Sammy.
You do. Come on, we killed Rafferty. I mean, my God.
We'd definitely be suspects, wouldn't we? All right.
We have to leave the come unity now.
Okay, she's calmed down. Is she actually? She's colouring. Oh my goodness. That didn't last very long.
Oh my gosh, guys, what did we do?
I don't know. It's a good picture. I like this picture.
You got this, girl. Come on.
She says, and she's nearly finished. Oh, the black doesn't really come out black. It comes out weird coloured.
Yeah, it's like kind of like weird brownish, like.
It's like purpley.
I don't know what color it is.
I don't know.
Yep.
It's that colour. I need to move my water. It's not close enough.
Yeah, okay. Oh, and I have a pulse. If that pulse is too annoying, guys, so let me know, then I will...
You have a pulse? Well, we hope you have a pulse.
I'm listening. Turn it off. I hope that it's not that bad.
How do you turn a pulse off? Don't you have to die?
Just ask Laura. I think she just died. So she knows how.
Oh.
But the hardest thing is turning it off. It's
Starting it again.
Turning it back on. I mean, the off part is kind of quick and fast. Just said, "Hey, say, shovel and whack."
Yeah.
But getting it back on can be a little bit more challenging.
He'd look great with a moustache. He would look pretty cool with a moustache. I could try and give him one.
Oh my God, that would be so awesome. And then we'll have long lashes as well.
Just give him a little bit of a, there we go.
Just getting red hot.
He's got a mo. I'll zoom in and you can have a look at it. There you go. He's got one of those fancy little curly things. It's a little bit out of place, but
Oh God, this is hot. I have a battery. I have some.
Kathy, don't burn yourself. We don't need anyone else dying tonight, okay?
Not here. I mean, it was 80.
Wait,
It was 88 degrees here yesterday.
Whoa, is that hot?
Yeah.
I need to make mine.
I don't know if that's hot or not, because we go by Celsius, not Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't know either. 88.
Sweating.
That's hot.
Okay, so it's over teams then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know Celsius.
My head,
Alright,
my head is pounding now. I've laughed too much. I've got hardly any voice.
Yeah, my cheeks hurt so bad.
Oh, that reminds me of Toy Story at the end where she goes, "Bye-bye now, bye-bye, bye-bye, oh, my cheeks."
Yes, that's me.
When I was a kid, I used to have my mum used to tell us to stop making her laugh because it hurt her jaw. So she used to just hold her jaw and laugh and say, "Don't do it, it hurts my jaw." So we always used to try and make her laugh. So she'd say, she's still going.
I'm sorry. This is so... I've never used these markers before.
Yeah, they're a bit strange.
They are, but...
Oh my god.
Oh, that's really bright red. Oops. I'm on to tomato red. I don't know why, but he's got red.
Something yellow.
Lucky red and green are complementary. It'll look fine.
Yeah, it will be perfect.
That's right.
For your Christmas ball.
Yeah. What a great idea. She's just making me laugh. Oh,
It's so hard to color when you're laughing.
I'm thinking about those pixels.
I think Laura's going to need the whole 2 hours.
Stop that laughing! Stop that laughing!
I need to zoom out again.
You're gonna... yeah, I don't know what it is. Kill yourself. Stop that laughing. And those whistles goes... and then one of them actually dies. And then you just
What's that in?
That's a rabbit.
Oh, Roger Rabbit, yes. I remember that. I'm mixing brown and black together. Let's see what happens.
Really dark.
It doesn't do much. Well, that was boring. I thought it was going to be exciting.
Really?
Boring.
Well, when you are mixing brown and black, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't look right. It just looks like weird looking brown. What are you doing, Laura? She
Thank
can't
you,
get the lid off.
Yeah. It sucks and all. Good.
This is so slippery.
I would have thought May would have been having the most trouble with those mittens. I mean socks. No.
No, it's me. I'm having the most trouble.
Somebody go and help Laura. Come on. She needs a hand. I just snorted.
You see, girls, this is why I win. Because I'm actually coloring. I'm not laughing and snorting and
She's just being a snob. It's all good.
I'm kind of doing.
Let her go.
I'm supposed to do. And I'm not having some fun. This is deadly serious.
So serious.
Oh, I can't breathe. Oh my god.
Breathe.
I don't know. Just like her. I'm after at this point or what?
How's everyone going out there today? Tonight? This morning? Really early for Kenny.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's really early for all of the US actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's already... look, Tuesday's going to be an okay day, so don't worry. Because you know I live in the future and everything.
Yeah. Yoo-hoo!
This really is looking terrible. Goodness me.
Oh my god, this is so hot.
I thought you were going to say it was horrible. What's hot?
Oh, never, me. I'm hot.
Me too.
Earring socks. That is just so hot.
I'm sweating all over, but it's just my hands that are covered.
May's wearing socks. I'm wearing gloves. Laura's wearing gloves. Caran, this is part of our little challenge that we do. I don't know why. We just like to really challenge ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And everybody else.
And we are doing it over and over. Oh, that was a nice purple.
It's probably good that we only do it once a month. I don't think Laura could handle it any more than that.
I mean, I'm not even sure if orders the buyers this a long time. So,
Oh my gosh.
oh, the disc actually goes. That's Bolter thing is good. It can be quite clever. It can go quite fast then. Maybe actually also can mix a little bit. Let's see.
It's really hard to
Yes,
get
we
it done
can.
in a short period of time, and yeah.
I'm just ignoring the flowers at this point.
Good job.
Oh, this is too left. Oh my god.
They're transparent.
This is like, why am I looking for a tissue? I have
A
socks,
tissue,
my
a
God.
tissue.
I don't need tissue. My God, I'm so silly. Oh my god. My whole hand is a tissue.
May's in the closet, snorting on her socks. Laura's on the floor, falling off a chair.
I really want pizza too, and it's like 7 a.m. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Everybody wants a pizza.
It's me. I'm having a bad.
It's your fault. Yeah, that's right.
On people.
We'll just blame May. It's all good.
Yeah.
My skull's looking a little bit of a mess at the moment. He's not doing so well.
Me too.
He's looking a bit sick. Oh dear.
Maybe some.
What are you doing over there? I'm watching you. You're. Oh, he looks like he's got red lipstick. I love it. Yours.
Mine does.
He's got red
And he
lipstick. Yeah.
Eyelashes as well.
Oh, nice. You're making a girl skull.
Oh, he could be a male with long eyelashes.
That's true.
He's a dag skull or something.
I probably should have had a practice
That's
at
true.
these. Really, they're not that easy.
Yeah. I should have tried this out beforehand. Maybe I wouldn't be laughing so.
Actually, I don't think that would change anything.
May has great confidence in you.
Thanks, May.
No, it's just that you are such a happy girl and you laugh easily.
I
So,
can't be. laughing.
Joe Beth, you can have pizza at 4 a.m. Of course. Why wouldn't they? I'm dropping everything.
I don't have to shade this one, but that really doesn't work. No, I can't shade that. That just looks horrible. How in the world are you shading these things? I mean,
using water.
These ones are for kids. They should be easy to use.
Oh, well, you would think that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but they are not.
No.
Oh my God.
I have no idea what flowers these are, but they're all orange now. No, not really. Just the middles of them are. I could have been inventive and I could have just scribbled all over the page and wet it. Wouldn't that look alright?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Although I find that they don't actually like move once you put them down very well.
Yeah, no, they don't move. Or mine doesn't.
What paper are you using? What paper are you both using?
I am using the Layer Fontaine paint on multimedia paper.
Oops, I dripped my water and it went on my page and it took the water, it took the colour out. No, go back. I'm using the Canson extra large mixed media paper.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm using the smooth side because the rough side's really bad. What's Laura using?
I'm using the Strathmore Bristol, the vellum.
Oh, does that go with water, does it?
Yeah, it's fairly decent with water, but it's not like meant for it really.
Hi to everybody who's coming in, and sorry if I've missed you all. I did say hello to a whole heap of people right at the start, but my
everybody
thing wasn't on. I was talking to myself.
The thing is called sound.
Yeah, it wasn't on, so I was talking to myself.
That's okay.
Well, technically, you guys could still hear me, so I was talking to you.
Yeah. Ooh, that was very close to your orange. Oh my God! Ooh, what is this?
You're telling the story. I don't know. What is it? How are we going for time? Any requests yet, Sammy?
Oh my gosh, more?
Yes, had one, and that was to color with the dominant hand.
Who what? I can't do that one. Who said that one? I didn't see that one, no.
No.
No, that didn't happen. Oops. I spat.
No. Didn't see it, that. Hi, Sparkle!
Kathy, my face is bright red, I guarantee it.
And you really don't want to see May because she's snotting everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Can you hear her? Listen to that. You know what? I'm going to see if I can find a different brush. Oops. Now we left them all over. Let's try this one, Shadow.
Oh no.
Hear Laura laughing her head off. Don't snort. No dribbling and no snorting.
No promises.
You know what? I brought these little pipette things off eBay. They cost me like $2 for this massive bag, and they're so handy. Sorry, I just thought I'd throw that in.
Is any one of you doing October this year?
Oh, whoops. No.
How about you, Laura? Are you doing the Inktober?
Probably not, only because I'm working on my coloring book. So.
Oh, working on your coloring book. Another one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! Did you guys hear that?
I like the sound of that.
So when do you hope to have it done and stuff?
Wait, I didn't hear that.
When do you hope to have it done?
Blanked out.
When
I'm
is it to be
I'm
done?
not really sure. I mean, I don't have a deadline for myself, but I'm hoping by November, but we'll see.
Well, that's quick.
That early? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I've been working on it all year.
Good on you.
Alright.
How exciting.
Yeah. We'll see though. See what happens. But yeah, so I don't think I'll do Inktober. I want to, but I don't think I can handle all the projects. It's too much.
Oh, of course not.
I can't wait to see Dee Dee's Inktober stuff.
Yeah.
She always does such cool
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, she's doing Movie Monsters this
Movie
year. It's going to be
Monsters,
so cool.
Awesome. I don't even know what I'm doing,
Yeah, I know.
Good. I'm glad you know.
Oh, you
I thought oh my gosh, guys.
What are you laughing at now? What did I miss?
My gloves are shedding onto the paper, so now I have little fuzzies all over.
Oh, oops.
Oh my god, how you're...
Your
Nothing,
watercolor's shedding.
No, my gloves are shedding. There's here, look. Can you guys see the fuzzies all over this?
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh.
Oops.
Yeah.
It'll rub off later. Don't worry. When it's dry, it'll come off.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Oh, how much fun is this? I mean, obviously, there's some sort of fun going on. I mean, we can hear it.
Yeah. I think Laura is having...
No.
I love trying new things.
Me too.
Let's see here. What color do I like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it adds to the picture. That's right. It's an atmospheric effect. I'm going for that.
You've got somebody who wants to pre-order your book already. Yay. Well, we all do, but
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
So, what's the theme this time? Is it Sahadil portraits?
I'm not going to divulge any details about it, so
Oh,
we'll
it's a
just have to wait.
secret.
Oh, come on.
We don't like secrets.
I need to concentrate. I'm so far behind. Look at you guys.
Someone go knock on May's door, please. Sammy, that's your job. Just gone ahead again.
Sammy här så står det med som en pizza. Så man har då väl...
Pizza Hut. What kind of pizza do you guys have there? Like, do you have a brand or a brand that delivers?
Oh, yeah, we can.
Because we have Pizza Hut and we have Domino's.
We have the Domino's too. And then we have Pepper's Pizza. I don't really, we really eat for get pizza. They deliver, so I don't really know those names. Because we usually make it ourselves.
We have takeaway every Friday night with my dad.
Oh, that sounds cozy.
It's awesome. We sit around and have some fun and play games or watch a movie or just hang out.
Yeah, that sounds
Whoever
nice.
gets time to do stuff like that now? We do. We make time.
Yeah.
We made time to teach my son how to play 21 the other night.
Yeah, well, that's good because that's something we do too. We have like a ton of cardboard or games.
Yep.
And Sam is saying knock knock.
Knock knock. Who's there? Oh, it's your door, May. It's someone at your door. Go check.
Oh, it's at my door. Sammy.
Hi, Abby. Oh no, here we go. Kitty attacking thing.
Shadow went
Wait.
quiet after I said something to her, so she's quiet at the moment. Luckily, she was so noisy before.
I think she's off of my nervous because she's like running around the house like a crazy kitty.
Yeah, she's.
Oh no.
Hyper.
Oh no. I thought she was gonna come up here for a second, but she's good. She's good.
Oh man, this is taking forever between all these tiny little leaves.
Oh no. Oh.
What are you laughing at now?
Emily asked, why is May wearing socks? Nobody can answer that.
We don't know.
Oh.
We don't know. May, why are you wearing socks?
That is because since B is down under, then I got to be up over. So that means when she is having mittens, then I have to wear socks. And the other way around.
Uh-huh. There you go. That's the reason.
That's why I'm wearing socks. And it's cold up here, so...
Oh my gosh, I'm sweating so much. I need a shower.
Oh, I don't need to know. TMI.
Don't worry, I'll take one after the video. I'll try not to drip.
Oh my god. No.
I never knew that Laura actually could be a person and me. Jesus.
When I get up.
When she laughs, she gets hot and sweaty and drips. That's what she said. I didn't say it. She said it. at my scribble. It's so cool.
You're doing awesome. It's looking really good. I don't know what you've done. 4 hours? 6, 5, 6.
Shadow. Shh. No. I know I'm noisy, but shh.
Luckily, it's not my cat.
Okay. Oh, I missed a bit of flour.
Hold on, it says I have a part.
Oh, where'd you go? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Laura shrank. Laura, you shrunk. Laura, where did you go?
Did we kill her?
Laura, what happened to you? Laura! Laura, she's gone. Where did she go? The cat disconnected her. I'll have to try and re-add her maybe. Oh. Laura? Should we try ringing her again? Okay.
Yeah, no,
Let's try.
See her screen, but
Let's
I don't
see.
know. Yeah, I think so too. Sketch.
Ah!
She at the toilet. She's in the cat. Hi, Laura.
She's back.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. I just disconnected you and reconnected you, so...
How
Hello.
do I do this?
Are you upside down? Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Hello.
Wait.
Yeah, nice.
There we go.
We lost you.
I'm so sorry.
Laura.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
thank you. All right. Don't worry, I didn't do anything while I was away.
Mm-hmm. What did
Me
you do?
neither.
She went and
Me
had a
neither.
shower.
I did nothing.
Shower.
It's fine. It's good. I'm not gonna win anyway. It's totally fine.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep telling myself that, right?
Well, this is fun.
What's fun? What are we talking about?
This coloring. This
Oh,
is
yes,
so
of
much
course.
fun. With super tips and socks and everything. Oh, my
Super
God.
tips and socks. That sounds
Oh,
cool.
okay.
Hey, you should color with the socks all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I should. I think that this is my best piece ever.
Mm-hmm.
I have never been this so good until now.
How do you guys get your markers open? Oh, okay. All right.
Perhaps we had a little bit of an advantage because we've used gloves before.
All right.
Aha! The plot thickens.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just trying to get this finished. It's taking forever. And it's not going to be finished, I don't think.
But it is a big image or a very detailed. So with a pencil, this would take me at least a week or something.
Yeah. Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep everyone to the week?
Well, luckily we're not using pencils, so that's good.
Yeah.
Rightio.
Okay.
And the bad tips is getting some love, and that's good because I never used them other than in the Janman Hostelen books. So this is good. Oh my God, Laura, what now? Why are you laughing now? Am I missing something?
Yeah, Kathy in the chat. She said I'm stroking the markers.
The walking markers, yeah. Laura has this special touch with her markers.
Sorry.
And the marker, I love it too.
I can't colour. I can't see. Oh, goodness me.
I don't mean to.
Hey, he's smoking. A Daisy.
All the flower power and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
I wonder if Kerby was smoking when he made this picture.
Well, you can't see you both. Some herbs and flowers and whatever.
It's very, very pretty.
In the backyard. Oh, put that on top.
Oh my goodness. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Just keep telling yourself that, alright?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Yep, it's awesome. That's just awesome. Alright. Crap.
Det är dels på ruin image
Let's put something lighter.
or this nice girl. Now she is like laughing is snorting.
I'm so sorry to ruin your idea.
Illusion.
Yeah, no, there was never, I've always been really weird.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah, embarrassing myself on camera live is my special talent.
We can't be real, then what's the point?
It's so bad. How can I even switch this one?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having so much trouble. This one is not going up anywhere. It's looking really bad.
Have pills for that. Getting things up.
What is the time? Oh my goodness. It's been like 45 minutes or something. 40 minutes.
Oh, yeah. They're just kidding us.
We did something impossible, ladies.
Nothing is impossible.
There's no way. No, we can't finish this. There's no way.
40 minutes.
Oh my gosh. I need to stop laughing. Stop laughing.
Yeah. Stop that laughing now. Laura. Stop.
That's not helping.
Laura, closer now. Come on, focus, girl.
I'm trying so hard.
How can you see? Oh.
I can't. My eyes are like filled with tears. I can't even. There's no way. Oh man.
Laura.
She's trying to push them out.
Push me a child over here.
Just breathe.
Yes. I'm trying so hard. Just.
Oh, that's the problem. She's trying too hard.
No, to breathe. The coloring, I don't know what to tell you about that.
Yeah, mine's the same. It's going really well.
Oh my goodness.
Oops. Too
This
bad.
is why I color while you people are laughing.
Thank you, Nicotina.
You say, hi, Melody.
Oh, I should do a knock-knock joke now.
Yeah,
Okay,
you should.
let's not.
Knock.
Who's there?
There.
No, it's the other way around. I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm so stupid. I don't know any knock jokes. Or, I wish I did. I got to Google them.
That was the best knock-knock joke ever.
That was good. Oh my god.
Thank you, Melody. I'm so happy that you like it. I kind of like him too. I think he's super cute.
You're making me cough.
May you crack me up.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Oh, goodness me. Okay, settle. Breathe.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I don't know. Is Laura
May, there's somebody at your door.
a baby or something?
No, May, there's somebody at your door. Didn't you hear it? I heard it knocking.
Yeah. And I actually need some coffee as well. Just hang on.
Well, go and get a cuppa then. That's all right. You're good. Off you go.
Yeah.
It will be okay.
That was my...
Well,
Just make sure you take your socks off to make it though, because we really don't want you to have an accident.
or smelly coffee. Or fuzzy coffee, like my page.
Fuzzy coffee. May went. She went. She's. Oh my gosh. How does she do it?
Okay, wait.
She's got a time travel camera.
Gosh, thank you.
She's got a time
I
travel
look
camera.
up and you guys are blue.
I'm not finished. I'm nowhere near finished.
Oh my gosh. I'm losing. I'm totally losing.
There's no losers in this game.
Yeah,
Just
me.
fun. No.
I've just been laughing the whole time. Oh my goodness.
May just drop something.
That's okay. Should we stop?
No. Don't say that.
Okay, then I am back. I have a
Yay!
coffee. I'm putting this one away because now it is time to...
How do you make a coffee in the microwave? Do you make coffee in the microwave?
Okay.
No, just eating the milk cup.
Ah.
Okay, I have a theory. Let's see what you guys think about this theory. I think
No.
Meg's secretly a superhero and she has super fast lightning speed.
No, I am a robot.
A robot.
No, I have I have robot hands.
She's a Terminator. Oh my god!
So, go, gadget hands!
Aren't those motorcycle gloves? I have a pair
Yes,
of those.
it is.
Oh my gosh! Where did they come
Now
from?
we are gonna...
Where did you pull them from? Actually, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
What color should we? Now,
Seriously,
come on,
girl?
robot hands. Work with me. Come on.
Oh no, now she's going to be even faster because she has fingers.
Oh my god!
I have fingers. Yoo-hoo! I'm so lucky.
Well, look, if you're changing yours, I think I should change mine.
Change your what? Your
Oh
Gloves.
wait, I was prepared.
Go ahead. Change them. You have some rubber ones or something, then that's good to go.
The sound effects are perfect.
Okay, operation time.
Oh, he is getting dirty on us now. She has got all the skeleton on one.
Oh, I just put a hole in them.
What kind of is this?
I have, what am I now? I'm a surgeon, and this is a really, really delicate surgery.
Abby girl, come here.
Then you are my total opposite. Because I'm not a bit gentle or something.
Yeah, good girl.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, give me a minute.
Oh, I don't want that to be up as well. Oh, I forgot a bit. But I flutter by. Look.
Yes, Sammy, I think I might. Should I go get them? Oh my gosh. Oh, my hands are so sweaty. Oh my gosh. Should I go get them? Look at my hands, guys. Look at how many fuzzies. I've got like a bazillion fuzzies all over. Oh my gosh.
No, I think they look just perfect. I mean,
Oh,
you
look!
have two
I got a
hands
hole in my
and
sock.
And fingers.
I could put my thumb through there. Hang on.
Okay, I'll go get my washing gloves. Hold on.
Oh, these girls are now serious, huh?
How am I gonna... Sammy, how am I supposed to do anything with that? I'm not May, the superhero.
No, I'm not. I'm super amazing.
You're the Terminator.
Yeah. I think I need something more yellow on this page, actually.
It's a starry night.
Can't color those yellow as well because they have a yellow on the inside.
So these are a little dirty with paint because I actually used these with paint at one point, but I have these.
Yes.
Are you gonna go do the dishes? I'm going to the stars.
Lite love some in. Ooh, I like those. Those are cute.
Ooh, they're actually sparkly. I don't know if you can see that on camera. But...
Oh, I can't see that.
Okay, now I make a grip. I can use my hand.
What was that
Oh
noise?
my gosh, this is so much better.
It sounded like a monster.
For me?
Oh. Oh, what's that?
Sorry then.
Sorry.
If I did.
I don't know. I think I'll do this colour flower. What is this colour? Peach. Ew, that's horrible.
That was not me.
No, that was actually me. Yeah.
I think that's the first time I've heard May snort.
Usually, feminine can go, ooh, that's horrible.
Sorry.
Men I don't think I've ever heard the bees say that to a color.
No, I haven't. It wasn't horrible. It was just horrible in the spot I was putting it, really. Oh, now I've got fluff going everywhere.
You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. This is crazy.
It like gets into it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a butterfly. Oops. These are bluebells now because I don't know, they're just blue. Oh, I got an itchy nose. Oh, at least I can wipe my nose. It's all right. It's good.
Okay, breathe.
She's hyperventilating again.
At least I can actually use my hands. Before it was like, I don't know how to explain. This is
Try wearing a pair of socks.
I can handle this. I've got grip.
Yes. I need more flowers. No, where are the flowers? Okay, this is one.
I think we're gonna need extra time.
What is that?
She's just being a robot.
May the robot.
This flower's got a double middle. It's 2 flowers in one. It morphed.
Yoo-hoo!
Oh, it is a Morphia
It's
book.
a mutant. Oh, it's a moth.
Okay. Oh, we got a bee. I got a bee up here. That's me. I'm a bee.
Yeah. Yoo-hoo! That's color B.
I'm just coloring this tray over here. Don't mind me.
Are you coloring there? Are you just playing?
Yeah.
You just making a mess?
I'm coloring this tray right here. I gave up on this. I'm just gonna color this over here.
I'm really not that good at this, but I think it works better if you put some color on the.
Pretty sure that's right. I'm pretty sure May's got the right idea.
Alright, if you insist.
Oh, I just dropped it. Oopsies.
I'm almost done. I don't need 2 hours. My God, this is.
I need 2 weeks, please. Can we just come back in 2 weeks?
Nope. Nope.
If so, then I want to do it with watercolors.
Yeah, that's right. I'll do it with pencils or markers.
Yeah, because this really doesn't look that good.
What are you talking about? Did you? It looks beautiful.
No, I did not say that. This is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
This is my best pieces ever.
This is my best work. I'm so proud of it.
Me too. Look at
My stomach hurts so bad. And not like in a queasy way, like in a I've laughed
Too much?
far too much and my muscles can't take it anymore.
Best exercise ever.
Just come to me for your workout today. Oh no, it's not taking it off, it's just smearing it around. Oh my goodness. Technical difficulties. Okay.
we used to use that excuse a lot when I worked in insurance. I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. I'll be right with you. Get off the phone, go have a... No, anyway.
Okay. Breathe.
I don't know where you saw that piece because I don't have any piece here.
Hey, what's yours? Yours is a weird looking thing.
What? No, it's pretty. It's not weird looking. You're so rude. Don't listen to her. You are gorgeous.
Oh, that colour was really horrible. Well, it did nothing.
Hey,
It just disappeared.
I think I need... So, how much time now do we have?
2 weeks, according to Laura.
Oh my
Yes!
God.
Yes! I'll do it.
Okay. I
You're
will
at 2
finish it. And I guess.
2 minutes.
No! 2 minutes?
Laura, you're going to have abs of steel, apparently.
Oh no! What happened to the time? Oh my gosh. Panicking. What do I do?
Beep, beep,
Okay.
beep, beep. It's an alarm saying it's getting closer.
I'm losing it totally now.
Yes, I am. I don't know what to do.
Panicking out.
Look at this, like, oh, 10 minutes extra time. Oh, thank you, Sammy. Okay, I have 10 minutes. I gotta strategize here. What am I doing?
Which part are you going to do in that time?
Everything. 10 minutes back this.
Um,
That's a lot of time.
Gosh. I don't know. Hold on. Let me think. I don't have time to think. Okay, just go. Just go.
Can you help to not have a heart attack?
I didn't hear that. What?
She said not to have a heart attack. Don't worry, I'm good. I'm fine. This is easy.
I think she might be having a heart
I
attack.
need some water and I need some
Oh.
instead.
I think my brain's going to explode. That's alright, I'm wearing stars. At least it'll blow and explode into the sky. No, not funny.
If you just want to see me laugh for an hour, you just come to Belinda's stream.
That is what it's for. It's here. We're here to have some fun and laugh and just get over the whole month of crap that's happened. And yeah, well, that's why I do it. Best release ever. Oh, that's a weird looking flower.
Okay.
Did you just go hee 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 hee?
Well, no, I read Sammy's thing. She says extra time starts now. 10-minute countdown.
No.
Hi, Jelly.
No. It's more than that.
Yes. Wait, do we have another challenge in here? Oh no, wait. Why am I asking that?
Another challenge.
Because she likes it.
No, wait.
She likes the challenge. You said it. You said it.
Oh no. What did I do?
Oh, I'm gradually filling in the gaps. Gradually filling in the gaps.
Yeah, I'll sparkle with it. It's all about this. Yes, Emily, I got my robot hands on.
I'm a gummy bear. I'm a gummy bear. I don't know why that came into my head.
Oh my god, now B is even singing. What have we done?
I'm seeing pink elephants. Big elephants. I'm pretty.
I did and that sounds a couple of weeks back. Oh my god. Laura, are you okay?
Have you just lost it again? I swear she's losing it.
You don't do it.
It's Tammy's fault this time.
What did she do?
Tammy, what did you do?
I'm
Yeah.
throwing away the workout.
Where's your robot noises, she's saying?
Oh no.
Tammy, look, you. Baroque, Laura.
Oh, there's someone at my door. Uh-oh. There is really someone at my door.
What is was kidding? But she was not there. Oh, actually.
Okay. Who comes to the door at 10 o'clock at night? Seriously. Okay, I'm back.
Did you?
Yay, welcome back.
If she's back.
Oh, now
What's
it's
it
already
happening?
dried. What a pain.
Oh, you got my pizza. Oh.
Oh, that's what it was. It's the pizza.
Oh, I'm jealous. Morning pizza, please.
Well, it's
Pass a
actually
slice?
more like a midnight snack nearly.
Dun, 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 dun. Look at my masterpiece.
Are you finished? Go away.
Yeah, I think
You're not.
Go away. You are not. I cannot hear you. I can't even get this working properly. It just doesn't want to do anything. Oh my gosh. It's just going everywhere. Oh my gosh. I made a mess.
What are you doing?
I don't know. It just doesn't work.
No, I can't tell.
I'm not happy.
Oh. Okay.
Are you seriously finished? I can't believe she's finished.
Yeah, I finished. I think I need to sign it, so I haven't signed it yet. Because it's not done before I've signed it.
What noise is that?
It's a robot moving.
There, I did sign my piece of work, my beautiful skull. Yoo-hoo. So I'm ready to celebrate some dios de la muerte.
Here, May, come over here and help me.
No, that's cheating.
Laura, I don't think I'm educated enough to actually help you. I think that's really some kind of special help.
Oh, May.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Laura, you're not meant to agree.
Oh my goodness. I haven't laughed this much in so long, guys. Thank you so much for this fun time.
She thinks it's fun. It's pressure. It's so much pressure.
It is.
I
was trying to do the outside, but it didn't work.
Thank you, Leslie. I know. Yeah, my the Terminator. Well, robot hand. Yeah, that's why I'm done. I'm finished. Even have a background. I think I did good.
Everything's going green now. Oops.
That's okay. Green is a nice color.
Oh, sometimes.
I don't you like that either anymore. I like to keep my
10 minutes is not enough. I'm not going to be finished. I'm sorry. I did try my hardest.
I think I'm the farthest behind.
4 minutes left, girls.
Shh.
Oh my god.
I'm not looking at the chat because I don't want to know.
Okay,
just let us know.
I'm taking off my.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And I'm almost done with my cup of coffee. I only have like a little bit left. So not only did I finish, but I also finished a full cup of coffee.
Shh.
Yeah.
I should have coffee pizza.
Okay, we're good. Good.
What is this thing here on the side of his face? It's like a paisley pattern. Is that what it's called? Paisley?
Yeah, this here. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even look at that. Okay, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see here.
And this card thing here in the middle, it's now green.
Yeah.
Nice. Why not?
Well, yours are actually pretty. What did I do wrong? I mean,
That's not pretty. What are you talking about? It's just a mess.
how do you say a little mess? And you have a lot of pinks and stuff, so that's cute.
Yeah, well, you know.
I don't know. I need some that before to finish. I should find some sharing and stuff. Yeah!
Are you okay?
I think
what's
I
happening?
I will be back.
Oh.
That's scary.
A little.
Oh, it can be scary.
Raggy.
I don't think I used every color in my set. Was I supposed to?
No.
I did not use my grey or those down ones. I think I used like 7 colors.
I used more than that.
And that peach too. I have some peach flowers.
Oh no, that's cute. Oh my gosh.
No. I'm not watching. It's not. I don't know. I can't hear you. I'm not finished. No. No, it's not. I don't believe you. I really don't.
Oh, come on.
I'm not finished. I can't. I'm not finished.
Belinda, seriously, stop it now.
No, it's not finished. I'm the host. I can do finish, can't I? Fine. I almost finished. I just had this side to do. Just this bit. I can't leave it not finished.
Oh no, isn't here? Isn't here is the week or not the finish until I say so.
Yes, that's right. It's still not finished.
There. Yeah, we are not finished.
Oh, look,
No.
That's it. I'm not doing anymore.
So sorry, Laura, but you said please is not this bossy.
And mine's what?
He is not this bossy. Just to I don't know. I think she's eaten something. She had some pizza with some pumpkin mushrooms, and she didn't quite.
No, I assure you, I'm 100% sober. Unfortunately, I have no excuse.
Exactly. Sketch. It is fun, laughter, and coloring.
I can't hear you. What are you saying? I'm not listening.
But that's okay.
I'm kind of busy here.
Okay. Want me to shut up now?
No, keep talking. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I think I've finished now.
Don't shut up. Are we still going? May
No.
is still going.
No, I'm not going. No. I don't know what you're talking about.
May is
I'm not going. I even finished my coffee. Okay, so that's enough.
I don't like mine. It's all grey and weird. I want to do this one again.
Why? It's so pretty. You just need to do it again.
Oh my goodness. This was so much fun. I'm not very proud of what I did, but
Oh, it's a masterpiece.
I got disqualified.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Well,
yay! I didn't come in dead last.
That's gorgeous. It's completely done. It doesn't have used any.
oh, there's a spider on my wall. Ew. It's a spider.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Anytime. Just ask. Good laugh.
You guys are awesome.
Yes, she's on coloring and coloring and coloring. And she is like never done. Oh my god.
I'm finished. What are you talking about? I'm done.
Yeah.
Sort of. Maybe.
Don't
wait,
look
I'm not
like-
done. I forgot to sign my name on it.
Just don't look at all of it. Just look at this. Right?
Just zoom in. Just zoom in and just look at one little spot. Mine's so messy. Look how messy it is. It looks better further away.
And that's kind of why it doesn't.
There you go. It's further away.
Yeah,
Bye.
because mine looks awesome down here. But if I'm lifting it up, then you will see it. How that it's not awesome. Or not that awesome.
Well, look, we gave Laura a workout. She's now fitter than she was before we started.
Yeah, I lost 2 pounds in 1 hour. It's the best diet ever.
And she got the abs of steel.
Rawr.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, thank you so much, ladies. My head is feeling much better than it was earlier.
You laughed it off, right?
I laughed it off, that's right.
Yeah, Melody, this is my first time.
You've done well.
Well, I think Laura, you did awesome. I mean, I colored so much of it.
You coloured better than me
so
because
you're
I
good.
apparently got disqualified, so you did well.
I think we all did amazing. This was the most fun I've had in a long time coloring. So thank you both for doing this and inviting me.
You're welcome. We've loved having you, and May, you're always a laugh.
Yeah, the robot. That was priceless.
And let's not forget the socks.
The socks. Oh my gosh, I think I can credit May's socks for like half of my hysterical laughter at the beginning.
That's good, girls. I'm so happy.
Everybody, you are so welcome. Thank you so much for coming and joining us and having a good laugh. And hopefully that clears your month and you've got a whole 4 weeks to build up again till next time. I don't know who we're going to do next time. May will be there most likely.
Yeah, yoo-hoo. I love these ones.
Alright guys, I'm going. We're all going. We will see you next time. Thanks again. Make sure that you subscribe to Laura and May's channels. And click the like button too, guys. Bye everyone. We love you.
Bye.